Hello, welcome back to the woods, and welcome back to a video about a piece of gear that if it appears in one of my videos I always get questions about it, either in the comments box or else somebody will email me and say, where did you get it? That piece of gear is this. It's my little billy can, and in this video I'm going to tell you all about it and I'm going to show you how to make one yourself. So if you follow the channel and have been following it for a while, you know that the piece of cooking gear that I use the most is probably my US GI mug. Great bit of kit. Behind that, and if I'm out for a couple of days, particularly when I've got to process water, I like to have something a little bit bigger that I can boil up large quantities of water. Also, if I'm cooking more complex meals, I might need something slightly bigger, and it needs to be set up so that it's easy to use in the field, and that tends to be this little pot. Now this pot was a gift. Somebody gifted me years and years ago, a guy called Nigel French, and we met up and he brought this along as a gift, and it's changed a bit since then, but essentially all this was a storage jar for, I think it was cookies, something like Tesco's Finest cookies, and he saw it and he thought, I'll make a cooking pot out of that, and he gifted it to me. Back then, had the same wire handle. I've replaced the wire handle a couple of times, and it had a different knob on the top. It had a little wooden knob which I've replaced, and I'll explain why as we go through. And I've made a few other adaptations to this, but these stainless steel containers are a great resource. They're also pretty cheap and relatively easy to get hold of, and if you look at the cost of a dedicated bushcraft billy pot, they can be really quite expensive. Well, they needn't be. If you're on a budget, or if you're just someone who, like me, who likes to tinker around and make stuff yourself, something like this is a great little project. So the first thing you're going to need for this project is the actual stainless steel container itself. Now all these are tea, coffee and sugar canisters. You can get them in sets. They usually come in threes. You can buy them new, but you can also pick them up for peanuts if you go from second hand. You can get them on eBay, you can get them in charity shops. These, the mate's wife was having a sort out at home. She wanted trendy glass ones, so she decided to bin the stainless steel ones. So that's how I got hold of these. Weight wise, they're lighter than a zebra billy can. They are still a good heavy grade stainless, and they're food grade. They're well made and well put together. So that is the first item you're going to need. It's a stainless steel container. So for this project you are going to need a few tools. First one is going to be your drill. Any drill will do. To go with that, you're going to need some HSS drill bits. You're also going to need one of these. This is a little rivet gun for putting in pot rivets. A hammer of some description. Tomahawk, I'm out in the field, I've got it with me. And a biro. You also are going to need, he says digging around in his pocket, a nail. As far as materials, well as that stainless steel container, you are also going to need a little bit of duct tape, bit of garden wire, fairly soft, not too thick a grade. Some of these little brass picture D-rings, these fit on the back of a picture. They come usually with a little screw and a D-ring. You'll see why you need those in a moment. A split ring and a few, and the pop rivet. So this is my little original billy can, and as I said, I made a few changes to the original, and they're things that with time I discovered that I needed. So the first change that I made was, well, I made a little change to the top, in particular the little pot handle. When I originally got this, it had a little wooden knob on the end there, and that was great and it really looked the part. However, it did make it difficult packing it sometimes, because suddenly you had this bit sticking up out of the top. Also, with time, the little bit on the top, the little knob, where it was getting heated and we were working over the fire, it gradually started to split and it broke off on the end. So what I replaced it with was a small split ring. I pop riveted it into the top, and I've got it so that it can freely move up and down. It's easy to take the lid off, like so, by using the ring. But also what it allows me to do is, if I've got it over the fire, what I can do is just pop a stick through there, and that makes it easier for lifting it on and off. The next change that I made, well, again, when I'm cooking with it, what I was discovering was, as I'm draining the water on, I'm having to hold the lid on to let the water drain through the little gap that I've made. And I thought, well, why not turn it into its own little colander by putting these little drain holes in. The rest of the pot has pretty much stayed unchanged. The handles changed a couple of times. These little wire handles are good. For a while I had a little bit of brass picture wire in there, but I've gone back to this garden wire, and it's more than adequate for what I want. Now what I want to do next is take these features and put them onto this tin. One of the reasons I liked this tin was it's slightly squatter and slightly fatter, so it'll be slightly more stable when I'm using it on a stove, and also the capacity is slightly greater. On this one, where that line is that runs around the middle, that's a 1 litre mark. It will hold 1 litre, so the same as a NATO water bottle. So if I'm boiling water up, to make it safe to drink, to go in my water bottle, I know that 1 pan will exactly fit my water bottle. So my first job is I'm going to take my stainless steel container and I'm going to mark it up to show where the drill holes need to be. Now to aid me in doing that, I'm going to put orange tape in those areas. I can then mark it up. One, it makes it easier to see, but also with a hard material like stainless steel, as you're starting to drill, the drill bit can slide about. This, the orange duct tape on there, will stop that happening. So there we are, it's all marked up with tape. I've got tape over the centre where I'm going to put the D-ring. I've got a little hole at the top which helps the airflow to go in as I'm draining the water off through the drain holes which I'll have at the bottom here. And then I've also, on the sides of the container, I've just marked up where I'm going to put the 2 holes for my handles. Next thing I'm going to do, I'm going to take my biro and I'm going to actually draw the little dots where I'm going to be drilling. So with the pen marks onto the tape so I can see where I'm going to be drilling, I'm then going to punch the metal just to make a little depression in it to make it easier for the drill bit to go in. And for that I'm going to use my hammer and my nail. So with the marks all hammered in, the next thing I want to do is I'm going to do some drilling and drill into those marks that I've just made. I'm using a little tiny 2mm drill bit, the smallest size I could. And when you use one of these on a hard surface like stainless steel, instead of going fast, you want to go slow. So you're going to apply lots and lots of pressure, but you're only going to move the drill bit slowly. And what that does is it allows it to get some purchase, to bite into the metal, and hopefully that will take the drill bit through. So there we go, those are the holes all drilled in. What I also did was, once I'd gone through with a 2mm bit, I've gone over all of the holes with a 3mm bit. Now this one in the middle I want to take up to a 4, and also this one at the top too. Also, I still need to do my ones on the sides. When you drill these holes on the sides, I find it's best to keep the lid on, because if you don't, what happens is as you push down, you need to push down quite hard, you'll suddenly bend and misshape your container. So keep the lid on, it gives it that little bit of stability while you do it. So those are the holes all drilled in across the top, one for my handle in the middle, my air hole at the top, and I've done the ones on the sides. Now these ones on the lid, if you turn the lid over on the inside, on the reverse of those holes, what you've got are some quite sharp burred edges. So what I'm going to do is take my drill and a bigger drill bit, and this one's a 6mm drill bit, and I'm just going to place it in the holes and quickly go round, and what that will do is that will take that burred sharp edge off, because what we don't want are these nasty bits that we could catch our hand on. So that's those burred edges all taken away. Next thing I'm going to do, remove my tape, and then I'm going to prep the little brass D-ring ready to make the little handle for pulling the lid on and off. So this is the little D-ring, and the bit I want is this flat bit. I don't really want this actual D section. So all I'm going to do is separate these two bits with my nails, and then the D-ring comes out like so. And then this bit, all I'm going to do with this is set this into that hole in the lid. This little hole, depending on the size of the pot rivet that you're using, may need enlarging. So that's it, everything fits together. The next thing, remove the pot rivet and place it into the actual pot rivet gun. So your long end slots in, push it in like so. And all we do, pop that onto there, and then put this over the hole in the lid and squeeze. So that's the lid all done, and we are pretty much nearly finished. All I've got to do now is sort out the wire handle for the sides. Now I left these two little holes on the side, nice and small. I'm going to peel the tape off. I'm just going to pop the length of wire in there, bend the ends over, and that's it, job done. So with the tape off, next thing I'm going to do is fit the wire bail handle. I'm going to check that my wire fits through the holes like so. And then what I want lengthwise is a piece of this wire that goes almost all the way round like so. And that length there is what I want for my handle. What I need to do now is use a set of snips, take this off, and then I can fit it into place.